All right, let's get into this. The Bidens are in trouble. Pressure's increasing as it has been stated. This is X22 Reports. Here goes.
Try to block it by saying that it should be held under wraps so no one knows how much I'm actually making. He tried to put off his court date, and now it seems that the judge is rejecting his attempt to delay until after most of the key Democratic primary debates happen. The judge, and this is Judge Holly Meyer, said he needs to make himself available unless his hair is on fire. Biden has been ordered to show up on March 11th or March 12th to answer questions. And she said it's not good enough for him to say, I'm not available. I need to know why he's not available or where he is or what could possibly be more important than what's going on in this case.
Again, he's either going to show or be content of court. Something's got to put some pressure on him. I think he's going to end up showing by this time in March, and if he doesn't, I think there's going to be some other legal action taken. The court's not putting up with this, judge is not putting up, which is good. She shouldn't put up with that crap. And then the stuff that's going on with his father.
So they're calling him out on all of this. And then we have his father, Joe Biden, who's running for president. He is now being investigated by Barr, and Ukraine has launched their criminal proceedings against Joe Biden over the firing of prosecutor Viktor Shokin. And it looks like Joe Biden is under investigation in two places. So Viktor Shokin filed an official complaint against Biden for interference in Ukraine's legal proceedings. And Ukraine launched a criminal proceeding against Joe Biden on allegations he pressured authorities into forcing the resignation of Ukrainian prosecutor General Viktor Shokin. Now, we know that Joe Biden is on the campaign trail. And Joe Biden is continually out there making up stories, forgetting different things, sounding confused, saying that if he does become president, he can only do one term because of his health. Think about why he is doing this right now. Think about the investigations. What's going to happen when this goes completely public and they press charges? What do you think Joe Biden's going to do? He's building his case to make it seem like he's ill. His doctor most likely is going to come out and say, this man cannot stand trial. He is ill. He doesn't know what's going on. He's confused. And this is how he's going to avoid this. You can see the writing on the wall already. He's building this up. This is his narrative. He's not going to win the presidential race. He knows this. He knows the investigation is going on. And he's already making a case that he has mental problems. And I believe we're going to see a lot of this, where a lot of people are most likely going to run, or they might suicide themselves, because I don't think they can stand to be on trial. Because once you're on trial, it's either you're innocent or guilty. If you can't stand trial or you commit suicide, nobody knows if you're innocent or guilty. Nothing ever happened. Think of McCain, for instance. Yes, they're out of the way, but think about down the line for their family and everything else. And this is how these people think. Now, yesterday we reported how John Durham is ready to release a report. But it looks like there's going to be no report whatsoever. It looks like John Durham is going to release indictments instead. And it seems that that is coming very, very soon. And this is why the deep state is panicking, not just in D.C., not just in the U.S., but worldwide. They know that John Durham has been tracking down, recording, getting all the documentation and evidence against each and every one of these individuals. And he's ready to release or unseal the indictments. Indictments are coming. Now, very interestingly, Sidney Powell says that
We'll see how soon those indictments will come. Will they come in March, April? The sooner the better, but they're going to have to be ready legally with lawyers and other people and other teams and judges that are really going to be conservative enough to charge these individuals for the crimes they've committed and go through the legal process. This is big if it gets to enough conservative judges. Liberal judges are just going to screw it up, let people off, and that's still a major problem. That's why all this time has been spent on getting some more conservative judges. All this had to be set up, but hopefully it's set up enough to actually do some good. I'm not 100% sure that this stuff is going to get under control and under legal stuff as far as it needs to be, but I think enough it will be done to scare the hell out of a lot of them for trying this stuff. But I think a lot of other people are going to care less, and they're going to think they're going to get away with it, and they're going to do it anyhow, because that's how these elite people believe. They believe they're actually above the law and above the system. They believe that they need to control the system and that they're above the system. And that's beyond criminal. That's just the way they think. They are criminally minded and criminally take criminal actions all the time. And they have escaped consequences so long that a lot of them are not worried about it, especially people that are high up. They'll never get touched.
with the Flynn case, once the DOJ examines the altered 302, this whole thing with Flynn should be over in a week. And she says, we don't want a pardon. We want an exoneration. We want this case dismissed in the interest of justice. And I believe Flynn is going to get it. Remember,
Exoneration. I hope they get exoneration. They should get it, total exoneration, not a pardon.
Or set into motion someone to review these cases. And if they have to, they will declassify the FISAs. So while they're reviewing all this, I'm sure they're going to be reviewing the FISA warrants. They're going to be reviewing the 302s. They're going to be reviewing the documentation. And this is where the entire case completely falls apart. Now, we know that Trump just got a very big win, where the federal court said that he doesn't have to give federal tax dollars to states and cities that will not cooperate with the federal law enforcement, ICE. And Trump made it very clear that he's going to stop these funds from flowing into these states and cities. This is what he tweeted out. The federal court deals major blow to sanctuary cities. In other words, there'll be no more federal tax dollars to states and cities that will not cooperate with the federal law enforcement, ICE. This is big news. Funds will be cut off immediately. Make America great again.
Wow, so evidently that is coming or will be the way it is through a presidential order or other things, because I'm sure it didn't pass through the Congress or Senate. The Congress for sure would never pass it. Senate maybe, but I'm sure this had to be administrative act to get things done. And for our own protection, I'm glad it is done. And these sanctuary cities need to be cut off financially. The only reason they're doing this is for the money that they get to do this. That's the only reason they do it. They don't care about our freedoms. They don't care about what their consequences are. They just want the money. These are how crooked these politicians are.
So all these states, all these cities that have been receiving billions of dollars, boom, they're just being cut off. And what does that mean? It means that they're going to be in trouble. They're taking in all these illegal immigrants. They were using the funds to pay for a portion of the illegal immigrant costs. The rest were probably being money laundered into their own pockets. And this is all coming to an end. Remember, Trump, the Patriots, they know the playbook of the deep state. And what does this actually do for Trump and the Patriots? Well, remember, they kept on bringing in illegals, and they kept pushing them into these sanctuary states and cities, and they allowed these people to get driver's license, they allowed them to vote, they allowed them to do all these different things. But what has Trump been doing? He's been shutting it down one step at a time.
We'll see how effective that is by fall, but a lot more work needs to be done on the sanctuary cities and funding, lack of funding, but also on the driver's license, also on Medicaid and Medicare and insurance and income coming into these people. There's so much work to be done here. I doubt if Trump can get it all done in another 4 to 5 years. And surely there's going to be continuing battles in these areas. We're not over with. I really don't like his narrative that this is moving along smoothly and there's no problems. I believe that is unfortunate. Here's Hillary, and she's pushing the coronavirus. Of course, it's trouble, but there's other things that are going on. Let's move on.
Hey, I just read an unbelievable.
How do these people react in a crisis and monitor it? It's about time.
Immunology, vaccine research, global health. She has developed and patented vaccines, including leading ones of the most influential HIV vaccine trials in history. 3 different administrations across both political parties have relied on her knowledge and judgment. Trump right now, not just with her, but with many other people, he is now going to monitor how these people react in a crisis. Are they working with him or are they working against him?
Good news. Let's move on here.
Disease that's coming out, and we should all prepare. Q instead gave us a drop, and this was February 25th, and this was post 3887, and this was the armor of God, and this was locust swarms, rivers running red around the world, the sky is falling. Q let us know that Q gave us the same exact post, 2904, on February 26th, 2019. And Q did a redrop of post 3888, which included this post saying, this is exactly what's going to happen, and I told you last year that this was going to happen. This was Q's warning, letting us know that these deep state players were planning this. And we know from Obama, we know from George Soros, that this was in the works. So that tells us that Trump and the Patriots, they knew the playbook of the deep state.
How are they countering it? I hope they're doing well. Let's move on here. Again, I have great concern that we are overconfident in the deep state, conquering the deep state. I'm going to end it here. I don't see anything else on this. I think the most important takeaway from all this is that the trials are coming, the subpoenas are coming. Hopefully the judicial system is set up, and pressure is going to be on Biden and his son. I don't think Joe Biden or Hunter Biden are going to escape. I think they're going to be individuals actually called to the legal system. I think they'll fight it, and they'll either, things will get tough enough that they'll commit suicide, or they'll play mental games, but they'll try to escape judgment either way. And so that will be bad news, but they will be exposed for what they are either way. But I think other individuals are going to end up being judged and caught in trials and be sentenced. I think a lot of the higher people, unfortunately, I think Hillary and Obama, I think they are not going to be put on trial. I think they should be. Brennan, I have a question whether or not he's going to be put on trial. But I think these people need to be sentenced because of their crimes. We have yet to see this happen. And my great fear is that in the next 3 to 4 years, it will still not happen. And these higher people will escape judgment, legal judgment in this country, unfortunately. I hope and pray that I am wrong. My fear is it is not going to happen because there's still too much corruption judicially, legally in this country. I hope I'm wrong. Swanson Martin from Billings, Montana. I think the greatest battles are still ahead of us. I hope after Trump is out in the next 4 years that enough stuff will happen that will slow a lot of these criminal-minded elites down. But I'm very sure that they're not going to go away, and they're going to try other sneaky ways to get the job done because of stuff that Trump has set up. But they're not going away. I'm very sure of that. And the battles are just going to get sneakier and trickier and more seductive. But these elite people are not going away. They're not going to be controlled by the legal system or anybody else. They think they're above the law, and they've acted that way all their lives. And they will continue to do so and get away with as much criminal things as they can, regardless of what Trump does. That's my take on it. We'll see if I'm proven right or wrong in time. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana, which means you as a family and individuals need to gather together with like-minded people and prepare for greater challenges that are coming after Trump is out of office. Believe me, they're coming. Again, it's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana, and I say these things in the sacred name of Jesus Christ. Amen.